I was listening to My World, and then he goes, one day this will be my world. I told you so. And I heard that one day, and I'm like, man, I want to make a song like this, man. One day I'm gonna be the shit. One day I'm gonna be this. One day man, what? And I just, this one was the easiest one for me to write. Easy, man. This one started flowing for real. This one was easy. What you're listening to at the time has a direct correlation with what music you're putting out. 100%. 100%. What you intake, and this is just any facet in life, like what you intake and what's around you and what you're hearing is what you're gonna put out. I was listening to Kid Cudi at the time. I'm listening to Kanye at the time, Graduation, and whenever I played this song for people, like that's what they would say. They would say like, this reminds them like a Graduation type beat, or like 808s and Heartbreak type beat, or like a Kid Cudi, Man on the Moon type beat. And yeah, that's what I was listening to at the time though. Like, I'm just hot, man. You know how like shooters, like Steph Curry, like Klay Thompson, they just get hot and they just start shooting threes from everywhere, just grang. And then the basket, like when you get hot, it looks like the basket's like a lake wide. Like you can just pull off from anywhere, hit anything. That's just how I feel, man. That's how I felt when I was making this beat. Like, I'm just throwing sounds in there and I'm just mixing it up. I just feel like a chef. I'm throwing spices over here. I'm grabbing spices over here. I'm grabbing it, putting it in, and it just look good and it smells good and it tastes good. Like, that's how this one felt. Like, I'm just throwing stuff in there and it's hitting everything, bottom of the net. That's how I felt. I felt like a shooter, man. I felt like Curry, just throwing stuff in there. So I started off with that piano idea, and then the swell, the and it's going along the same pattern as the piano. And really every other instrument goes along the same pattern as the piano. And so the next thing I added was the space sounds. It sounds like echolocation, like a call and response. So like, like echolocation, like a sonar device, like, you know, like it's scanning, like it's detecting something. After that, I add the drums, and you know, I add the kick. It's just a regular kick, like a hard-hitting kick. I add the snare. It's kind of like a rim shot, but you know, I just add it, and then I add the 808s in there. And so, man, the 808s didn't sound good at first, but I put some compression on it. I turned it up. I added some effects to it, man. Them 808s sound like thunder in the car, bro. Like, one thing I love about my beats, not even just my beats, one thing I love about beats in general is just I love getting in the car and I love feeling the 808s. I like the car to shake, man. I want the car to feel like it's on an earthquake or something, bro. I want to shake the room with the 808s. So that's how I want mine to sound. I want my 808s to sound like thunder, like it's a damn thunderstorm outside. So I turn my 808s up. I want my 808s to be up. I want them to be felt in the car. That's what I made that for. The 808s is loud for the car. I just throw in everything else. I throw in the ray gun sound, the pew, 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 pew. Then I throw in the electric, or not electric, I call it emergency door, that boom, boom, sounds like an emergency door for like a spaceship. You open it, it's like, so yeah. Next thing I add for the progression thing, from a progression standpoint, to get to the chorus, like you gotta add instruments so it can make it feel like a chorus. So I add the sub bass, and it goes along the same pattern as the piano does. I add this pad. It's a pad called Phoenix, and then it goes along the same pattern as well. And then I add like a reverse. It's like a reverse pad. It's an omnisphere. It's like a reverse pad. And so the pad itself kind of swells up. It's like, it kind of crescendos. So I like that pad, so I just added that in there as well. And so after that, you know, the beat is just damn near done, and I'm just rocking out, listening to the loop. And then I hear this other sound. I'm clicking through drum kits and I hear boom, bam, boom, bam. And I'm like, hold up, I could do something with this. And so I programmed that, and that's what you hear in the intro. It's that dun, 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 dun. And so I put that in there, and that ends up being the intro. And then I'm like, there will be a perfect sound for this. Like, there's a perfect sound I hear like that can close everything out and bring it all together. Like, and then I research, like I go on YouTube, type up emergency door sounds, and then I came up with that. It's like, most of the lyrics came to me at one time, but you know, some of the lyrics I tweaked a little bit, because I wanna put stuff out that's meaningful. I wanna put stuff out that means something, that, you know, is perfect, that perfectly explains and portrays what I'm thinking in my head and what I'm feeling in my bones. Like, you know, I just don't want to put nothing out that's just, you know, I put it out just because, like, oh, it sounds okay, I'll put it out. It sounds fine. You know, I need it to sound. I want it to sound great. I want it to sound amazing. I want it to sound, you know, exactly like how I thought it. This song was really just like feeling the music, like feeling it, just throwing it in there, like trusting myself, trusting my sounds. You know, a lot of these sounds are like experimental sounds. I was experimenting with this song, like throwing in sounds I've never thrown in before in a beat and just like mixing it up and, you know, trusting myself, trusting that I make good music. You feel me? So, yeah, one day. That was how One Day was made, for real. That was the creation of One Day.